All right. Well, happy Tuesday here. It's an advisory Tuesday, so I'm sporting my University of Minnesota Golden Gopher attire, Sky U Ma, and hopefully advisory has gone for you. I think during advisory, one of your emphasis was to talk a little bit about registration. So, and I'll take a moment to talk a little bit about that and maybe clarify any concerns you might have about social studies for next year with you. All right. Before we get to that point, as you look on the screen, there's our agenda for the day. And just to reiterate that tomorrow you have the summative assignment is finally due. You can always turn in early. The impact of the Great Depression. Again, it's summative, so grades will change if you haven't, if you didn't turn it in, or depending on the quality of that assignment, it's going to change grades. And we'll have one more summative piece before we conclude this trimester on the 21st. So again, due Wednesday tomorrow. If you're working with people, you have a partner, historical buddy, make sure that they get recognition as well for what they have done. Okay. And so I'll have open forum here. Do we have any questions about that assignment? You can either unmute or put it in the chat. Okay, so again, if you do have specific questions related to the impact of the Great Depression, please email me, send me a note. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. As you can see on the agenda slide, there is a painting, and this painting was done during the Great Depression, and it is in Ojibwa. So Agua Ching, which is a painting. There were a number of these paintings that were done by Alexander Oja and a few others that you could find at this sanitarium, which is another way of just saying a treatment center. And this center was for tuberculosis. And again, this goes with an extension of yesterday where we talked about photographers. This is about art and the federal project #1 and various arms that went with this project directed specifically towards artists. And you could find not only in Minnesota, but throughout the United States, other works of art playing on maybe the local history, the local culture, or just speaking about American culture and American experience during this time. So just wanted to throw that little nugget in there about how locally here we were impacted by the Great Depression as well. So with that, registration, all right, maybe someone put in the chat or unmute just to confirm that you may have started talking about that process in advisory. I had seniors, so we didn't really talk about registration with seniors since they're on almost on the back end of their career. So can someone confirm? Yes, all right, you did. All right, so with 12th grade for us in social studies, you have two things that you still have left to do when you become a senior. And you need to take political science and economics. So that is what is required for you. Now, I'll throw a qualifier out there. Some of you may be taking economics right now. So then that would just mean political science next year. Now, you do have a number of options in regards to that. If you want to, let's say you want to stay with IB history, then you take year 2 of IB history, and that will take the whole year. So that's 3 trimesters right there. And IB History of the Americas year 2 would also fulfill your requirements for political science and economics. All right. Now, doesn't hurt to take both political science and economics as well as IB History Americas, because you know I'm a social studies junkie here. But you don't necessarily have to have, obviously you don't have to do that piece. So again, you have options. If you don't want to stick with year 2 of IB history, then your option is to take political science and economics. If you want, though, to have that kind of that high level curriculum experience, then perhaps you take the AP Government and the AP Macroeconomics or the IB Economics. Now, if you take the IB Economics, now that's 3 trimesters. The AP Government course is 2 trimesters, and you're going to, in the the AP Government is you're going to dig in and you're going to look at the 3 branches and the workings of those 3 branches. But then you also take a look at the role of citizens within government. So there's that civic element to it, and the different relationships between the levels of government, not only the federal level, but the state, the county, the city, and even the school district. They're all levels of government. So you really dig into that in AP Government. Political science, you'll cover very much the similar things, but not with that depth. And political science is only that 1 trimester. So you don't have that 2 trimesters to really work through it. The economics is a 1 trimester, as well as the AP Macroeconomics as well. And you'll be looking at various elements of the principles that go into the economic system, and look at different types of market systems and the principles that go into how markets work. And so it's not quite personal finance. That's a different course altogether there. So again, to kind of recap here, you have options as a senior. You can continue with the IB track, and you just take IB History Americas year 2. I teach the course, and we're going to focus on some specific topics, and they may vary year to year depending on what's happening in the moment or student feedback. So that's option. That's one of your options. The other option is go with the AP Government and AP Macroeconomics or IB Economics. Or another option is to do the political science and economics. And again, I threw out there the idea, if you're taking economics this year, then all you really have is political science. Now, as it says on the screen, some of these courses may be offered as an online course. And so as of right now, the political science and economics is an online course that will be taught by teachers in South Washington County. And so we will offer those. And of course, you know, there are other courses offered outside our district, but we will offer political science and economics right now online. And we have not gotten any communication about making some of those other senior courses online. But, you know, everything, as we know, is static, is subject to change. So we got those pieces. So again, if you have questions related to that, and hopefully I clarified, please please let me know. You can unmute or you can throw in the chat, or you can always send me an email. Now, also, for social studies, we do have some elective opportunities as well. And some of you may be already taking those as well. So for your senior year, you do have some options. We do have some ologies out there. We have sociology and criminology, and then we have psychology A and psychology B, and then we also have IB psychology. And IB psychology is 3 tries. Then you also have Great Leaders in Battles. You have World Wars, African American history. So all of these are 1 trimester courses with the exception of IB psychology, which is 3 trimesters, goes the entire length of the school year. Ms. Eidengiel teaches for the moment the IB psychology. And it's very much patterned like the IB classes. And so you kind of will know the familiarity of what the structure of an IB course is there. Like any of them, if it's an AP or an IB class, there is an opportunity at the end of the course in May to take either the IB or the AP exam. So there is that potential, as always, to earn college credit based on how you score. All right, so you have those there. So we do have a number of opportunities. So in terms of taking psychology, they are not necessarily contingent on each other. You can just go psychology A. I know from experience with psychology, and I only will say that my wife teaches psychology, and sometimes she will get students who sign up for psychology B without actually taking psychology A, and that's also possible as well. But just bear in mind that psychology B kind of builds on the idea that you do have that foundation of what's established in psychology A, but they are not contingent on each other. All right. Are there any questions about any of the electives or any of the courses, the required courses? I've taught many of them. I've taught the political science. I've taught obviously the IB history of the Americas. I do have a good understanding of the other ones as well. So again, if you do have questions related to any of these, you can always check in with me or check in with any of the other social studies teachers when it comes time to making your final decision. But at some point, you will have to make a decision, and you want to be the one making the decision. You don't want that put into someone else's hands. Make that decision. Comes down to, what kind of senior year do you want? Do you still want to keep that you want to finish it out by challenging yourself, or begin to take the foot off the accelerator and kind of ease into your senior year? It depends on the type of senior year you want. Just know that habits that you continue or create your senior year, it does have a tendency to spill over into that next level. So that's just my little 2 cents piece of advice with that. Okay. And so my last little bit here is, I've gone back to the agenda slide here, and you can see there is, and perhaps again in advisory, maybe you talked about this, but Student Council is putting together a little Cup of Cheer drive-through event this Friday, January 8th from 1 to 3 p.m. And so that could be a great opportunity just to kind of change up your schedule, mix it up, maybe see some other people, social distance though, masked on, in the student parking lot. You can show up in your vehicle, or you can walk or bike and get a little cup of cheer get some stuff put into your cup there, messages or packets of hot cocoa. All right. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add for good of the cause? So tomorrow, we will not have a live Google Meet. I'm going to give you the time to work on finishing up the impacts of the Great Depression. I will have a Google Meet open for Q&A, for question and answer, and I can address any concerns that you might have about the impact, or even about registration. At that point. Okay, so without further ado, we are done, and I want you to have a great day.